Springfield's rock station, Q102. Hey, it's Crews, and I am very excited for this interview today because I've been a fan of this guy since I was a teenager. You know his songs, Hey Man, Nice Shot, Take a Picture, Where Do We Go From Here? And in this interview, we're going to dive into the new single, All the Good, and the Ultra Edition that's going to be out in August of The Algorithm. I'm very excited to welcome Richard Patrick to the show. Now, Richard, let's just dive into this first. You guys were supposed to go out on the road with Jerry Cantrell, but you posted on the Filter social media pages that due to medical advice, you guys won't be going out on the road as planned. I know that's a big bummer for you and the band. How are you healing up from your surgery?
It's slower than expected, but I am mending, and the doctors are expecting me to have a full recovery. So that's the good news. The bad news is I can't do the tour right away, which I really wanted to. I love Jerry Cantrell and his band, but I just want to be on the safe side and make sure I mend from this. So it's one of those things. I gotta take care of my health first.
Now, Richard, Filter's been going since the 90s. What do you feel has changed the most in the music industry over time? Has it being out on the road and touring, recording albums, maybe how albums themselves are promoted?
The decimation of record sales like CDs and cassettes and vinyl was pretty shocking. When they invented the MP3, everything changed. With the advent of the computer, recording has become a little bit more easy, but it's still expensive to make rock records. You know, you have to get used to the fact that there's no budgets for anything and things are just, very different. So it's mainly when the MP3 came in that changed everything.
You have such an iconic singing voice. Like when I hear your voice, I know that is a Filter song. How do you keep your vocal cords healthy while you're out on the road? Because I'm sure that can be pretty tough.
Yeah, well, it's basically don't drink, don't smoke, try and maintain any kind of acid reflux, but do warm-ups. That's really the whole thing is doing warm-ups before the show and then after the show doing cool-downs. And you should be fine. Try and stay healthy. You can't get sick. If you get sick, you can take medicine to help you get through the show, but, you got to be careful with the medicine and get a good ENT. And
AI seems to be all the talk right now. What are your thoughts on it, Richard? And do you believe it has a place in the music industry?
Well, I am staunchly against it. I think it's creepy. I love human beings, and I love what they're capable of. And AI I know people that sometimes use things for songwriting and they hear a melody inspired by something that was done in AI and then they kind of like work around it, but it inspired them to. That scares the crap out of me when that stuff starts happening. AI is coming and it's gonna really be destructive to a lot of this world that we know. And I don't know. I think it's a crazy new world we live in. In a million years, I never would have thought it would replace artists. You know what I mean? I'm not a fan right now. I'm not a fan of it.
We are talking with Richard Patrick of Filter. Now, unfortunately, this week we lost the great Azie Osborne, the Prince of Darkness. And Richard, you guys posted on the Filter social media pages that you were out on the road with him in 1996. What was that experience like for you guys?
It was amazing. The first day of the tour, we were invited to go on tour with them. The first day of the tour, I wanted to check my guitar, and I was on stage just kind of playing the guitar riff. And all of a sudden, I turn around, and Azie Osborne's standing right next to me, and he's like, "I love that riff, man. I love that riff. Hey, man, nice shot. That's a great riff." I'm like, and the only thing I could say was like, "Thank you, Mr. Osborne." And he goes, "Oh, it's Aussie Rich. Don't worry about it." Yeah, he's a great guy. And towards the end of the tour, I bought him a big box of cigars because he was smoking cigars, and so was I back then. He was like very appreciative, and he lit my cigar for me, and it was really cool. It was amazing.
Let's go back to 2006 when you were part of an incredible supergroup called Army of Anyone, a band, by the way, I'm still a huge fan of to this day. How did that come to be, and will we ever see a second album?
Well, we were fans of each other's. I was a huge Stone Temple Pilots fan, and I love Robert and Dean. They're great people. I've known them from the road. And Ray Luzier was an amazing drummer that we stumbled upon, I think, at NAMM or something. And I met Ray Luzier at a Deftones concert, and he came up and gave me his business card. And said, "You ever need any drums, let me know." And then, I don't know, we just all got together one day and started playing, and it was pretty obvious that we should form a band. Yeah, with Robert and Dean and I had written a bunch of songs, and then we got Ray kind of later in the songwriting process. And then Bob Ezrin produced the record, and Brian Virtue worked on it, and then we had Ken Andrews mix it, and it was just a lot of fun. You know, I love Robert and Dean to this day, and Ray. They're some of my best friends. I had a blast doing it. It was a lot of fun. There's one song on the algorithm called Summer Child. It was co-written with Brian Leeskang, but it really sounded like an Army of Anyone song, so I actually got Ray to play drums on it, and it sounds very similar to Army of Anyone, but yeah, Robert and Dean weren't available when I needed to record it, so I just played the guitar and the bass myself, and so that's about as close to an Army of Anyone reunion as we're going to get, I think. Yeah, so pretty close, yeah.
I always like to ask my guests, Richard, what bands or musicians are they listening to currently that maybe no one else knows about?
Yeah, I listen to Health. I love this band, Health. I worked with them. We did a song called Free to Die. They're really good. They've got a new record coming out. And I love the artist Rez, R-E-Z-Z. She's an EDM artist. She's amazing. I also listen to Scarlord. He's like this amazing rapper from the Midlands of England, and just an insane voice. Yeah, there's a lot of great music. I like Emila and the Sniffers. I like that. I like, there's a lot of good music out there.
All right, let's talk more about the new single, All the Good. I'm obsessed, by the way, with the lyric, All the Good in Us gets assassinated. How did this song come to be? Because it has a unique sound, but it still has that filter core to it.
I found a kid on Instagram. His name is Zach Munowitz, and he's this amazing guitar player, and he's only like 25 or something like that. And so we started working together via Dropbox, and he sent me some guitar ideas, and then I kind of put it together, and he has three songs on the algorithm. And he wrote, the music for All the Good, and then I just sang over it. It came together really quickly. Then I had Elias Mallon play drums, and I also had Johnny Radke play some guitar on it, kind of picking up the choruses. And it was really fun song to work on. All the Good in Us, gets assassinated. These times we live in right now, it astounds me how people are just twisting themselves into pretzels, trying to justify their political positions. It's just wild.
Well, you guys have a new album coming out, sort of. It's an ultra edition of The Algorithm. It's going to be out on August 8th. This new album has reimagined cuts from the original album itself, some remixes, and there's two covers that are reimagined by you, which I'm really excited about. U2's A Sort of Homecoming and Billie Eilish's Bad Guy. How did you pick those two songs to be on this new ultra edition of The Algorithm?
Well, Billie Eilish, I'm a huge fan of hers, and I had this idea to sing it like totally spooky and different. We kind of made it sound like a big, huge orchestral trailer type sound. So it's totally reimagined. Whereas the U2 cover is like on the nose, like tribute. It's me kind of fixing up some of the things that maybe were, challenging back in the 80s when they recorded it. I just played everything super quantized and tight, programmed the drums, made it just super flawless. It sounds like U2 for sure, but it's got me singing on it, which is wild. It's just my little tribute to U2. It came about, I just bought a brand new computer and I was learning Logic Pro X. And so I was like, I wonder what song I'll do, to learn this thing. And I was like, well, I don't want to work on anything I've done. Maybe I'll do this song that I knew when I was a kid. And so I worked on that and then put it away and then came back a week later and did the bass, and then 6 months later I made sure the drums were perfect, and then a year after that I sang it, and then I went back and started mixing it, and literally over the course of 3 or 4 years, all of a sudden I just kept going back to it and playing with it and messing with it, and it just became really good. I played it for my manager. I was like, check this out. I did this while I learned Logic Pro X. And he's like, okay. And he heard it. He's like, you have to release this. Like, this has to come out. And I played it for some other friends of mine, and they're like, it's wild how technically it really sounds like U2, but at the same time, it's so modern sounding. I just kind of enjoyed myself and just had a blast making it. And it's my little kind of like tip of the hat to a band that I've always really loved. I'm proud of it. I think it's cool.
Well, I've been a huge fan of you, Richard, since I was a teenager. Love the Filter albums and looking forward to the Algorithm Ultra Edition that is out August 8th. Road Crew, you can pre-order this now wherever you get your music at. You can also get more details on officialfilter.com. Richard, man, we are wishing you a speedy recovery after your surgery and hope to see you out on the road soon.
All right. Well, thank you. And I really appreciate it. Thanks for having me. And yeah, we'll get back out there sooner or later for sure.
Richard Patrick of Filter on Springfield's rock station, Q102.